Drew, you see
right now?
or
you?
It's
great.
I just want to make sure that you get all of that.
Let me push in.
Nah, I'm good. My name's Rashad, as you know. I'm currently in Dunedin, New Zealand, but I'm from Oakland, California. I've been here for about almost 2 years. Came to Rocketworks to make Living Dart.
Cool. And you came from London?
I did come from London. That's where I met Dean while we were working on Ion, which became Stationeers.
Cool. Let's take it further back than that. So where did you work before London?
Before London, I did a brief stint at Crytek.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I worked at Bethesda, and I spent a lot of time there. It was almost about 6 years.
What games did you work on Bethesda?
Fallout 3, Skyrim, and I made a mailbox and a garbage can for Fallout 4, which shipped.
Yeah, that still counts. So you worked on Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Nice. So you met Dean in London and came here. Did you plan on working on Living Dart?
Yeah, that was the goal. So the idea was that I would come and I would help him establish a studio and bring in talent. And then when everything sort of got situated and everything got booted up, that I would then start up Living Dart, which happened. So
cool. Yeah, everyone, even when I came here, I didn't know what Living Dart was really about. And recently I heard you talk about... Yeah, I heard you talk about the history of it, man. Can you share some of that stuff? When did it start? The idea of it.
The idea of it started from my love of science fiction, but wanting to create a world that could tell any story that I wanted to tell that felt like I would be included in that story. So, for example, the typical demographic of science fiction is, white male, about, mid-30s, something like that. And in a lot of those instances, the culture that you navigate through when you're telling the story is forgotten. So I wanted to take all of that culture and bring it into a new place where any story I want to tell fits. It's science fiction for everybody.
So originally it was an animated film, like Japanese anime?
Yeah, because one of the inspirations of the game is actually Akira. Because before, way back in the day, I actually wanted to work at Disney. And so I actually started going to school to be a 2D animator, and I actually did my first year of school as a traditional animation student. The industry, kind of collapsed in on itself, kind of like in the late 90s, I want to say, somewhere around in there. And I kind of fell into games by accident. But when I saw Akira, that shit blew my mind, because I was only familiar with Disney films and other, Don Bluth films and all those older American films. When I saw Akira, I was like, I had no idea that animation could be so different, could be something else.
So Akira came out in '89. When did you watch Akira?
I watched Akira, I think when it came out. I actually remember I saw it at the Oakland Coliseum at an anime convention, where this is back when anime was handpicked and only the best stuff ever came over. So I watched it in a theater, at the animated, at an anime convention, and I was blown away.
You were hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went from that to, I don't know, Ninja Scroll and Ghost in the Shell and Demon City, Shinjuku, and just every anime thing I could get, I watched it, checked it out.
That's tight.
Pat Labor, yeah.
Wow. So when you had that idea that you finally wanted to make an animated film, who did you approach first?
It's gonna sound fucking weird, but I wrote the script. I did some visual stuff for it, and then I just posted a notice for producers on Craigslist. I was like, I know, right? It sounds so sleazy. But I was like, I need, I have an animated property, and I'm looking for someone to break it. But you gotta understand though that back then, people actually used Craigslist for a lot of shit.
Because I'm hearing that right now, man. It's either like legit or porn.
Yeah, that's how it is now, but that's not how it was back then. So, so I did that, and then I actually met a producer through that, and so we, signed like an agreement to sort of like get the film funded, and then then through that I got an agent who worked in Hollywood, and she basically repped the project for me, and through that we actually made some initial entries into talking to certain actors about starring, and the whole Hollywood process is weird because it's like you need to have a film in order to get an actor, but the actors don't want to sign until you have the film. So, oh, actually, sorry, to back up for a minute, I actually did get offers. So we got pretty far along with Lionsgate and another thing, but they wanted all these changes to the script. They were like, what if it, how about if it's a white guy instead of a black guy? How about, if it's, in a suburban village instead of in a city? How about, all the things that are important to me are the things that they wanted to change. So I said, I'd rather not do it than see it be destroyed in that way. So I just sat on it.
So yeah, everyone loves the logo that, you came up with, or can you explain a little bit about what that logo means for Living Dark?
Yeah, so this in the center is a tree, and this is Living Dark, and it's sort of like the duality of life in the city.
And I see that the tree is rooted into the city.
Yeah, because even in darkness, something can grow.
Tight.
I am most excited about finally building a world that solves a lot of the problems that I have with other games. A lot of games will give you a really big open world, a lot of real estate to run around in, but you can't really enter a lot of the buildings. You can't interact with a lot of the people. There isn't enough visual variety in the places you travel to. So this game is sort of like, my personal answer to all of those things. And I can't wait for it to just be this big world that, I can run around in and talk to people and, get quests and missions, and the relationships are changing, and there's, this sort of meaning to the interaction of the people in the world, which is missing in like a lot of the stuff that I play. So that's what I'm most looking forward to. Oh, actually, on the real, like, we gotta give props to all the people who are tweeting and retweeting. We don't have a marketing team. It's just us. We are talking about this thing that we love. And you guys are the truth, that you guys are carrying that forward. So we appreciate all the, conversations that you guys are having about the trailers, all the links that you're sending to your friends, all the likes, all the, comments. We appreciate it all. So, thanks. Also, look forward to a lot more news about Living Dark early next year. Just continue to follow us and support us. Find us on livingdark.com, www.livingdark.com. Find us on YouTube, YouTube/livingdark. Find me on Instagram, Instagram /Rashad Redic. Find me on Twitter, Twitter/Rashad Redic. I'm easy. So, yeah, cool. Even in darkness, like gross.
No, man, I was trying to lead you to say something.
I know, yeah, I know. I know. I was like, all right, I'm making shit up now.
You can see this work now.